Let's walk through an example that shows how to make use of item requirements in project management and accounting module. Item requirements provide visibility into products and services required to execute on a project and gives us the flexibility to consume products and services the way we want. I create a new project, which will be a typical BI implementation project. It's a time and material project for city manufacturing as my customer. I create the project plan, and I will reuse an existing template, which is a standard template that we use in our organization to plan projects related to BI implementation. After I import the work breakdown structure template, you will see the plan will lay out as is. So I expand the planning phase. I can see all the tasks associated and required to execute successfully on this project. However, to execute successfully on each activity, I will need some products or services. In this example, for this task, which is interview subject matter experts, I need some tablets. And it seems that I will need 10 tablets. Let's say, based on the engagement I have with this customer, I know that I will not need more than 5 tablets. So I need 5 tablets. I move on to the next task, and you will see other estimates, which is the number of hours that I need. And as I move forward, I will see all the items I required. For example, for developing ETL scripts, I will need a DB server, and I also need some subcontracting services. So the bottom line is that I can specify the products and services that I required for each task. Not that I have done that. Let's transfer all of these estimates into item requirements. So with push of a button, the system will allow us to transfer all products and services, selected ones, or the ones that are for a specific activity. If you remember, on the implementation, I had developed ETL script. If I choose this one, you will just see products and services required to deliver on that specific activity. Or if I want to see all the products and services required, I can choose to see everything. In each line, you will see the item that is required. In this example, the tablet we were talking about, which activity it is estimated for, the name of the activity start date and end date, and the quantity required, with cost and sales price, and whether it is billable to customer or not. For simplicity, I just choose the first one, which is the hardware and a tablet. And I choose to transfer this to the project item requirements. I have selected it and I click on OK. Now, if I close the project and I put the project in process so that I can capture actuals and also buy and procure products and items for, I can navigate to item requirements when it shows me the selected products and services that are required for execution of this project. Here you can see that in this item requirement, which project it is for, what's the hardware or the product that I'm looking for here, and you can also see how many I need. You also will see requested receipt date, which is set to when the product is required. The task start date and end date will identify when the requested receipt date will be. One important note here is that item requirements are sales order lines. So what is behind the scene really is nothing more than a sales order. So if I open up this through the inquiries, you will see a sales order for this project with this line item. Now I have my item requirements, and I have additional information like what the product it is, when it was created, and all the information for which project it is, for which activity it is, whether it is billable or it's not billable. This just shows me one of the items that I need. Let me go and bring more of the items that I was planning for. So I go back to the work breakdown structure, And this time I would say transfer WBS estimates to item requirements. What you can see is that the item that is already transferred into the item requirement is excluded here because you probably don't want to procure it twice. So I select all these and I say OK. Now if I go to my item requirements, you will see all 4 products shown up here. One of them is a subcontracting service I need, and the rest are in different categories. This is item requirements. Now I have all the products that I need, and I make a decision that I'm going to go and buy this product. So what I will do is that I will go here and I create a purchase order, which is very similar to when you're creating a purchase order for a sales order line. So I create a purchase order, and I choose the tablets, and I also choose the vendor from which I want to buy this product. And I'm going to go and buy all 5 of them. Let's see what happens. So I'm creating a purchase order, and this purchase order has been created. Let us go to the purchase order. That we just created. That was the purchase order that we created. Now I have talked to all the stakeholders of the project and we agreed to buy this. So I go and mark this purchase order as confirmed. One thing to note here is that as part of confirming the purchase order, no project transaction will be posted. So if I go back, I open up my project, and I go to posted project transactions, we should not see any transactions. All I have done so far is that I have identified that I will need that item to be bought. Let me go back to the project. Open the purchase order, which I just confirmed, and I go ahead and say I received it. Imagine a few days later, I received it. Now I'm posting a product receipt. And I'm going to post it for the ordered quantity, which was 5. And the receipt will be this number. I post the product receipt, where it registers that all the ordered quantity of tablet that I ordered are now being received. Now let's check the project posted transactions. Now that I have confirmed the receipt of the products, I go here and I look at the posted transactions. Now you can see that for this project, this item has the total sales amount. So the revenue part has hit the project. The primary reason is that this item is a non-stock item. And just the sales part of it will hit the project. Non-stock items don't have any inventory cost associated with them. So the cost will hit the project when I post the project invoice. For all the purchase orders associated with an item requirement, when you post the product receipt, a packing slip will be updated for the item requirement, which is a sales order line. Let me go back. This is my project. And now, a couple of days later, I'm going to go and receive the vendor invoice, and I'm going to generate the vendor invoice. I want to pay the vendor. I specify the product receipt quantity, which is 5, and I enter the invoice identification number. And now I post. I click on post. Now that we have successfully posted the vendor invoice, the status of the purchase order has changed to invoiced. Let's navigate back to the project posted transactions and see how the cost and revenue associated with the project have been reflected. Originally, just the sales side was hitting the project. When I posted a product receipt on a PO, that was associated with an item requirement. Now that I posted vendor invoice, you will see the cost side hitting the project as well. With that, we were able to walk through a scenario to make use of item requirements, posting packing slip on the item requirements, posting vendor invoice, and showing how the costs and revenue associated with the project transactions are being reflected. Let's review the key concepts that we looked at when we were showing the demo. Item requirements, list of products and services required to complete a project, and those item requirements are modeled as sales order lines. Item requirements will allow partial consumption of products. Item consumption is when costs and revenue associated with products and services will hit the project.